I'm ready anytime you are, brother.
Nice. All right, guys. Welcome here. This is Dylan Chalk, and I'm here with Donnie Bentley, Bentley Home Inspections in Tennessee. And we're kind of going to recreate a Scriber meetup we did the other day that went really well. We got a lot of good feedback. And Donnie is logged in on his mobile device, and has built in ScribeWare a very unique template that is incredibly fast and uses a bunch of it's really cool. What he's done is he's layered a bunch of our features in order to create a unique workflow that's both fast and really detailed. And he's done it by using, I'm just going to throw these out. If you're new to ScribeWare, you won't have heard of this, but show next to connected field value. And he's got some buttons in there, and he's got gunny sacks in there, and we've got some photo captions to bullets going on. And by layering all these features, he's created a template where, I mean, Donnie, you got what, 18 guys, something like that?
Got 18 guys right now and got some more in the pipeline.
And you guys consider do mostly on-site reports with this, sort of 2 to 3 a day kind of
We're
thing?
yes, we're done before we leave site if we want to be. I mean, a lot of times, for time, you may just finish the last step when you get home, but it's totally capable of being done when we're finished.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it looks fast. And then, so what I want to do is Donnie's going to take over in a minute. When he's done showing the mobile, we're going to jump over onto, I'll start steering the ship and we're going to look at desktop and I want to show you guys how Donnie built this. So we're kind of unpack how you could construct this. We're going to look at one of Donnie's sample reports so you can see what the finished report looks like. And then we're even going to dive into a couple other templates because it'll start to show you the breadth of the different construction techniques for designing a template in ScribeWare. So that's kind of what you're in for here. So Donnie, why don't you take over and kind of show us how you do stuff on your mobile here?
Cool. I'm the kind of guy that when we do our reports, I don't like the real long comments. I mean, I know a lot of people do, but we like, it's something's it's got a problem. We're going to flag it, and then if we've got a solution, we'll put it in or whatever. Just recommend a contractor come. But basically, everybody that looks at software, you look at the lots and grounds first or whatever. A lot of people call it the grading, the flat surface, whatever you want to call it. We call it lots and grounds. And when you click on it, this is the menu that comes up. Now, I usually keep mine compressed. I've got it opened up right now, but you see how fast you can move through the stuff. Usually, when I open it up, this is what it's going to look like. And I click on my grading button, and it's flat, minor slope, whatever. These are my solid lines. We have to report on certain things here in Tennessee.
Yep.
I know Texas is very unique. This template will work for Texas people, but you can't use it the way I do it. There's a few things
Yeah,
that I
that
do
whole Trek
different.
template's a whole other thing, but you can use a
That's a
lot of these
whole other beast.
techniques. Yep.
But notice where I've got the blue writing. If I hit negative slope, that automatically pops up that we got a problem. And grading slope allows at the front of the home. I can click on that and make it at the rear of the home. However you want to do it. That's just texture placement. And I
Yep.
need to fix my space right there, don't I? But we can recommend adding soil, recommend repair, recommend a qualified contractor. The minute I close that, I'm already on my camera section and pardon my cluttered desk, but making pictures
Mm.
with my desk. And I can note the problems. I can come in and automatically. We use talk to text, and believe it or not, my iPhone can't understand this hillbilly talk, but I'm a true Appalachian, so
Uh, uh,
just deal with it. But we do a lot of the arrows and circles, like we do a lot of this stuff. But click the
yeah,
wrong
we've
button.
actually improved that too, Donnie, in a version coming out on mobile here. Like, I think you're gonna like
Oh,
some of our new annotation
I will
stuff.
like it. But anyway, what really makes it quick is when I step out of my truck, I click my driveway. If there's nothing wrong, it's concrete. The walks are concrete. And if there's a problem, I've got action item, due diligence, repair action items.
Yeah,
It's
so
where I
this is
got all
what's
my
really
stuff.
important about the logic of the template. If you go back a pane just for a second, just tab back, under walks, he's only got action item, action items, and due diligence. So you're not searching for comments. I mean, Donnie, you've done probably thousands of reports now with this template. Do you guys ever search for a comment? I mean, you don't need to. You only have three comments sitting there.
No,
Yeah.
we keep our list reasonably short.
Hmm.
Probably the longest list we have is for windows, but just because there's so many variations and so many
Hmm.
problems.
Yep.
And I'll even show you how we deal with that one.
Yeah.
If I go to my exterior, like I said, it's vinyl siding, and if we've got it built in for, we got peeling paint, and it's pre-1978. It goes ahead and does the
Yep.
lead-based paint,
Yeah, that's awesome.
pitches all of that. But when we get down to windows, and I've got extra doors, but I've got windows I can do. Click on the button and they're working properly, or they got a problem. I've got the type, you know, I hit the wrong button. They're aluminum or wood or whatever you want to do.
Yep.
Then you've got all the concerns that you can have. Then I've got a bunch of stuff built in. Then I've got my the windows is like I said, here in East Tennessee, we have a lot of wood windows and a lot of problems with them. So,
Yep. Interesting.
but I've got action items, due diligence, and repair in every library comment.
Yep. And so why don't you hit one of the either action item or action items and let's kind of unpack
Okay.
how the
If
little,
I do action item and I've got you know, um, not all windows are accessible, internal condensation between them, and I can close it and I would take a picture right there. I lost my place. I hit my screen wrong. Yeah, there we are. But then I can add action items, and that gives me two places to write problems.
yep. And
And a
that way,
lot of
like
these say
if you had some windows that were like an improvement item and other windows that were a major concern, you could kind of handle that.
right, and you can close it. And if I've got this and it's defective and I just want to make it safety item, or if I want to make it, a maintenance item, I can change it that quick.
Yep.
And it gives us four locations for every item to have a list.
Hmm.
But and then like an electrical panel, I'll go through the whole panel. The way
Yeah.
I like
Let's,
to do it is these are the words that we use, and all this stuff's editable, and you can change all of it you want to. But when I open it, these are the things that I do. And on my phone, I like to start at the bottom of the list just to fill stuff out. I've done looked at the electrical panel and I know what's going on. So I can just pick on my circuits, their CUAL or their copper and aluminum, whatever I want to write.
yep.
The bonding is a big deal that we have a whole lot of controversy over bonding here in our area, but the panel is bonded, the breakers, they're copper and whatever you want to write up.
Hmm.
Um, but if I've got, we have this industry thing about neutrals being double tapped.
Hmm.
Okay, is it right? Is it wrong? Is it acceptable? Well, our state inspector basically says we don't want double taps, but 10 years ago we were accepting them. So how do you answer that question?
Yep.
We just got a built-in narrative that basically says this, and I take a picture of my neutrals and I'm done. They
Yep.
can do what they want to, but we put it on the report that it shouldn't be that way. But here it is.
Yep.
Service
And
wires,
and that's just going back to that. That's a good example of like even with this really simple flow where you really only have two or three comments per line item, you can always add more and you can add those very specific things that, like where Donnie is, that's a deal. There's tons of double tap neutrals. So he's kind of handling that in his template with one click.
yeah. And then the service wires, for the overhead and aluminum, no paste present. There's even a controversy here now that if electrical panels indoors where it's not exposed to the weather, that they're letting them do some of it without paste. So we just kind of broad brush it and keep on moving.
Yep.
And, but if it's aluminum, the cover plate, we got a lot of problems with this. We've even got one that's for Smith built homes. They've got an issue with their stuff. It's specific to them, but we look at enough of their homes, and the guys can't remember all the language, so we just built that one out for them.
Yep. Perfect.
And then the service amps, and then the manufacturer. And I've got all my problem panels that we have in our
Yeah,
area
beautiful.
listed,
Yep.
but then all my good panels are just nested where it's square D. There's no
Yep.
problem. But if it's a Zensco, we got
There
it
you
already
go. That's
flagged it.
awesome, Donnie.
Then
Yep.
I pop the picture and move right along.
Yeah, boy, that's fast. Yep. I love how I can see too how if you open your template all compressed, it's all everything's just there's no navigation on the mobile hardly. You can just do everything right there.
We started. I'll show you something else that we done that it'll work either way, and I'll do that on the garage. See, this one is compressed,
Yep.
but if I go to let me find one that's not compressed. Like my general information is not compressed. You can do it, leave it open, and this is the first line in my report. We take pictures of locking the door and put the thermostats back and stuff, and it helps my inspectors remember and
Yep.
saves us a lot of callbacks.
Yep.
But hit the button, pop a picture, then you come back. Then all you got to do is hit it, and the next one comes up. My start time, and hit it, and and it goes away. I
Yep.
can put my temperature in, and it will come back up to you. You can do it that way. But I like going the other way because it's open them up. That way my eyes get to see it, and I'm less apt to do something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Yep.
And what else do you want me to show you on it, Dylan?
So let's say you have one where there's action item and action items, and you run into the dead beaver is what I always call it.
Okay, the dead beaver.
But
Okay,
just so you guys know what I'm talking about, it's like no matter how much stuff you have in your template, you always run into the weird thing, And so I jokingly call it the dead beaver comment of like you find a dead beaver stuck in the panel or whatever. So how do you handle that?
okay. Well, I'll use the roof, and I'll use the gutters and downspouts.
hmm
They're aluminum, and I've got one that's
Action
well,
items.
yeah, the action item. The gutter's loose. Recommend repair, and I'll just take a picture of it.
Yep.
Then I walk right around the roof a little bit farther, and I find something else. So I'll just put it over the next action items, and got a negative flow and holding water. And I'll take a picture of that. Then I walk around to the other side of the building, and now I've got a dead beaver in the.
Yep.
And I can just hit my other button, and I can change this to whatever I want it to do. We'll make that a safety one. And when I click on it, I've got my gunny sack.
Yep.
And there's nothing in it, but I can click on it, and I've got a period right there.
Yep.
This is where I would do talk to text. I mean, I can't, but
Yep.
this is where the dead beaver.
Yep. So just so you guys know, you can't really demonstrate voice to text on your mobile while you're zooming because Zoom takes over your microphone. But both Donnie and I do a ton of voice to text, and it's really powerful in ScribeWare. But by using those periods within his gunny sacks, Donnie has built the ability where you've got a little holder place in all of your comments. And that allows these comments to be incredibly flexible, where if you don't have something on your pre-made list, then, you can just hit the period and freehand something.
Okay, and I've got another solution that works real good. I walk around to the other side, and now I find a live beaver. Okay,
Yep.
so I can go into this one, and I can go down to recommend repair. That's my kind of my default when I don't want to do anything, and I
Yep.
can close it, and it gives me my repair comment automatically. Then I can put my
Oh, your cursor's right in front of it. So now you got the live beaver there. Yeah. Cool.
yep, and then hit my enter key, and I'm back in business.
Yep. Yep.
Then I take a picture of him, and we're off to the races. And
Yeah, that's
see, just
amazing.
under gutters, I've got four different comments that will go into four different sections of the summary
Yep.
page.
And if you wanted to, if they were all, a repair item or a maintenance item, you could have them all in the same comment by using the gunny sack
Yes.
approach. So,
You can
you
put
could,
them all in the same one, and you can even have four different ones under the same modifier.
yeah, yep, yeah. Yeah, it's super cool workflow and just fast. There's very little navigation in this template, and there is very, really no searching for comments other than maybe perusing gunny sacks. Donnie, what's your take on how big a gunny sack? I mean, do you have a limit of how many options you like to put in there?
I like them about seven or eight. And then if it starts getting too long, I will actually break something out. It's like right here, see, I've got gutters and downspouts under one pull down.
Yep.
If I had too many gutty sacks, I would make one for gutters and then one for downspouts.
Yeah, yeah, just break it up a little bit more. Yep,
Break it up. And
yep.
I've got a couple of places where that I've played with, like I think I know where one's at here. Like some of my chimney stuff. I've got some pretty long ones, and see how I put a bolt header in.
Yeah, I do that too. So
Mhm.
Donnie is now inside of a big gunny sack, and he's used a little bold header to divide stuff. But I think this once you get familiar with where things are in these gunny sacks, you're just flying through, going click, 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 and you can add quite a bit of detail to a report, and you're just clicking on things. I mean,
Right. And you have to learn some of the terminology and put your words in. What we try to do, we had a guy yesterday, he wanted everything alphabetical. And that's okay if that's what they want. What we do is I basically go from best to worst, the top of the list, like something's I gotta we have a lot of stuff in Tennessee, which I know most other states do too. You have to report on it and say you inspected it. So
mhm,
we can say good condition or unable to view or something. I put those at the top, but I try to put my top three comments at the very top.
mhm, yep.
It's like cracked sidewalks. I mean, how many cracked sidewalks do we have?
Yeah,
So
it's like every job, right? So, and that's to me, the gunny sacks are the best suited for your greatest hits, right? And so you
yes,
have somewhere between 3 and 7 that you're just using all the time, and you can go click, 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 and get them in.
that's it. And like I said, after you do about, I tell everybody it takes you three reports to halfway understand it. It takes
Hmm.
you 10 to get the feel of it. And by the
Hmm.
time you get to 50, you feel like you've always done it.
Yeah, you just like it becomes second nature to you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome, Donnie. That's so why don't you do you have anything else you want to show, or should we look at one of your finished reports?
Yeah. Let me show you one more thing that
Yeah.
we do that's so unique
Oh yeah,
is we
ancillary
do
services. Yeah.
ancillary services. And I'll let you talk about the tags later on. But
Yep.
I built a tag for all of my stuff so that it actually creates that secondary report at the bottom.
Yep.
You have a if I do a boat dock, and we have a lot of boat docks, I've created a button where that I can just put my information in. Like I said, we do the
Beautiful. Look at that.
location, we do the lake. Most of them are treated wood around here, and it's the seawall. That's a big deal here because we have some lake erosion concerns in our area. But we'll put natural. The lifts, it's electric, and the GFCIs are present. And the roof's asphalt shingle, and I close. Now I've got a list of stuff that just plugs in, and this is
Beautiful.
tagged so it will go into the next list. Then if I've got let's say the lift is when I'm doing the lift, I'll actually put the lift on, open it. Well, I clicked around. I'll make it. I do information,
Hmm.
and then I do a video, and I video the lift going
Yeah, that's a
up
good
and
idea.
down.
Showing it working. Yep, that's
That's
great.
showing it's working, and we do all this stuff. And like I said, it's real easy to do. We do it for the probably the one we do the most is the sewer scope, and
Hmm.
I built it out where that we're doing a nice house, and it's got PVC drain pipes, easy clean out, no problems. I've only got three buttons that I have to click and
Let's see it.
work
Yeah.
all my. like the inspected items, I just go through the list like I did the access points. It's,
Yep.
the clean outs in the basement. And I won't waste your time going through the list. But, well, this is where I drop my videos and my pictures in. Now, this is
Yep.
one of the times that some of these guys have got the little plug ups, they put it in the phone and they go ahead and upload it right then. I just come home and do mine on a computer because I'm old and some of
Yep.
this technology eludes me.
Yep. Yeah, no, I struggle with getting some things onto my phone
Yeah.
sometimes. It's just easier.
And here's where you put your problems.
Hmm.
You put all your problems
Yep.
here,
And you got the little yellow gunny sack to find your most common problems. Yep.
right? I got my gunny sacks for my, damaged pipe, offset joint. Then I can do like a offset pipe joint.
Hmm.
Then I can go in and see how my cursor comes up. I'll just hit my space key, go over there and say, then I'll text him. But 38 at 38 feet.
Yeah, that's
You know,
awesome. Yeah, super slick.
but I've got a place to put all this stuff. I've
Yep.
also built down in the bottom just a cheat sheet for the guys. I've got all the plumbing type, and you can click on, if you click on
Click
transite
on, yeah,
asbestos,
click on Orangeburg or yeah, one of those.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Nice. So
and,
you
and
got
it
like a
gives
little
you
kind of,
all the stuff.
yeah,
Orangeburg,
beautiful.
you can click on it, and all my stuff's down here.
That looks really
The
nice.
pictures will show up, but when you look,
Yeah, those are kind of sinking. Yeah.
but that way it gives the guys, like if I've got especially a new guy. I mean, how often do we see Orangeburg? Not often. Well, everybody talks about it, but we don't see it too often. You just want to know the information, and when you see it, you can. This gives you the cheat sheet to go
Yep.
back in to look at it.
Yeah.
But we do the well inspections the same way, and we do a lot of that stuff.
How about a
So
pre-drywall? You want to give us a little peek on that one?
pre drywall, I keep it pretty simple and straightforward because, like I said, I like to. I'm a minimalist. I like to keep
Mm-hmm.
it as small. But construction progress at the time of the inspection, because when you go do a pre-drywall, some of them ain't even ready for you at all, and some of them's got
Mm-hmm.
about half the drywall up.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them's got the outside of the house finished, and some of them don't have anything but house wrap on it. So we've got a way to document the progress at the time of the inspection.
Mm-hmm.
And I know grading's not a big deal on a pre-drywall, but I basically put a place if I've got problems, and the same thing with the roof and the exterior. But the framing is where we do most of it.
Yeah,
And you
that's kind of your
basically,
big stuff, right? Yep.
yep, your big stuff's here. And then the plumbing, which when I know the plumbing's just roughed in, but if they've got something that don't look right, I've got a place to put it. Plus,
Mm-hmm.
this is where I put all my nail plates for where the plumbing's got the nail plates over it or not.
Yep.
Those are the
Well,
kind
yeah,
of things that
the pre-drywall would actually be a pretty cool place to build in some of that knowledge the way you did with like Orangeburg and stuff, you know?
Mhm.
Because that's
we, we,
those are a
we
little
thought
trickier,
about
right?
that,
There's
but we really usually by the time you start an inspection on pre-drywall and the guys are there working, by the time you're done, it's already different.
Yeah, I know. That's hard, isn't it? Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we're basically just saying this is where we're at, and they're good up to this point. And if we need to talk to the builder or one of the job superintendent or whoever's overseeing the work, that we need to let them know about this, or if something weird's going on,
Yep.
it's what a lot of this stuff is.
Yep. Love it. Super cool. Well, should we jump into your finished report here?
You sure can. You got any other questions on how the flow works? But everything's pretty straightforward, and it's all gunny sacks. We don't do many of the diagrams or any of that stuff. We just don't do those
Yep.
inside. It's
Well,
company
people,
policy. So,
yeah, people can add some of those if they want. That's no big deal.
oh
And
yeah, they're there.
yeah.
I guess I said that wrong. All that's available. We just don't do much of it. So,
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, really cool template, and we are shipping with this template. So if you guys want to check out the InterNACHI template that Donnie built, I'll show you how you can get it if you already have ScribeWare and you don't see it. So we can kind of try to get into that in this video here. So, and we can always jump back on, but why don't I'm going to show people your finished report. let's start looking at that a minute. Cool. So I'll kind of steer here, but I love how Donnie's got his signature up at the top and nice clean home screen here. We've got the full report, which we'll click on in a minute, the summary, and then these are the tags that he was alluding to. So these are really cool, but he has used tags to tag, for example, all of the electrical comments. So if I click on electrical, it actually opens up a unique URL. So this URL is not the same as the full report. And from here, we've got a little list of all the electrical items. So this house was pretty clean. We just got 3 items here. But pretty nice to be able to send a list. If we go back here, automatically, this is no extra work, right, Donnie? I mean, this is just automatically happening as you fill out your
There's
report.
no extra work.
Yeah, so he's auto-generating for the roofer, for the electrician, for the HVAC, for plumbing, for the dock, for this. Your sewer scope is in the home inspection and it's a separate document. It's got its own boilerplate. And here's all the sewer scope findings, and you can stream the videos right in the report. And then if you want to go back into the full report, to it. So these tags are really powerful. He's created entire inspection reports within an inspection report, and then it's where you can save the PDFs of everything. But septic dye test, we can click on here. Again, all of these have their unique boilerplate little overview, and then he's got some information about the septic dye. So those are what the tags are. If we go into the summary, we can see now we've got a list for the client where we've sorted everything for the by urgency, or we can look at some of the systems. So in this house, we could be like, all right, there are 6 major things. Donnie has included photos in the summary, which is cool. You have the option in ScribeWare of including photos in the summary or not. But here you can kind of see nice and short and sweet comments and listing everything. Go into safety items here. So Donnie uses safety. Those stairs do not look safe. Uh, that's that's awesome. Cool. And then we've got the full report. So if we go into the full report, we start getting some of this background information and overview pictures and really getting like kind of a full picture. And of course, the client could go like, what's wrong with the roof? And they could go to the roof and see pictures of the roof, or what's wrong with the crawl space, and just go there. So I really think this finished report delivers in a lot of ways. We're organizing the data per urgency, major safety, maintenance, that kind of thing. We're organizing all the findings per contractor in here, and we're organizing the whole building per system. So it's kind of got every view that a client could want to be able to look at the data. And really, it's all happening automatically. I mean, once you get your template set up, all of the summary pages and everything are just auto generating. So pretty cool. We try pretty hard at ScribeWare to have pretty high quality pictures. So that's been really important to us that, the look of the report is as professional as we can possibly make it. And so the end user can kind of click on some of these. And anyway, I think it's a great looking report, Donnie. How do
Our
agents
customers like it.
yeah, I mean, how do agents and customers respond to these?
Uh, you're a deal killer, but
Yeah, yeah, there's always that with the
no,
agents,
they
right?
really
Yeah.
like the clean, concise information.
Yeah.
It's not, we don't have a bunch of, well, I couldn't do this because of that, and 47 disclaimers. This is what we saw. This is what we think. This is what you should do. Attitude through the whole report.
It's really cool. I mean, a lot of reports I read that are this long, I can't even determine whether there's anything about the actual house in the report when I read it. There's so much boilerplate and disclaimer stuff. And this is entirely about the house. All the pictures are about the house, and then of course it's so short and sweet that it's like, yeah, this is all about the house without any kind of BS. So it's really, really pretty cool, clean report. So beautiful. So that's what the finished report looks like. Let's dump into into ScribeWare and we'll kind of show you how he built this. So I'm going to go, we're on the ScribeWare homepage. These are jobs I have booked out, and then these are ones I'm using as templates. But I'm going to create from template. I want to just start a brand new thing here. And my version of Donnie's template is probably a little bit old, but I'm going to do this Nachi 1.1, and we will create a new report here. So now we're kind of looking under the hood, right? This is the magic of how did Donnie build this incredibly fast template and what makes it fast and what makes it mobile friendly. So one of the things that makes it incredibly mobile friendly is rather than all of these data fields being individual sections, he's built this all into one section. So this means on mobile, there is nowhere to navigate, right? I mean, everything on your exterior, he's got hose bibs, propane tank, the vents, the shutters, the dormers, like everything is sitting there. So now you don't really have to navigate on your mobile app. And believe it or not, you can handle so many comments because he's got these gunny sacks built. So, damaged fascia, water damage noted, carpenter bee damage. He's got it. And again, if you want to freehand the dead beaver, you hit the period and you go ahead backspace and type something in. So pretty slick. So the thing that makes this possible relative to like the narrative template, which is the one I use, is what in ScribeWare we call show next to connected field value. So in my template, if I were to hit add observation or even choose something, all my repair comments end up at the bottom of a section. And obviously, if you did that here, it would get really confusing to know, like, was that part of the windows or was that part of the doors? So by having show next to connected field value, when you choose action items, it tucks up right under soffits, and that makes it, not confusing for the client. Again, you could have multiple things under soffits if you needed to. So let me show you how you do that. If you go under settings, which is at the bottom left, and observation modifiers, which is right here, under observation modifiers, let's open up marginal. You can show next to connected field value. So this is really powerful, and what it really means is that any modifier that you choose that is marginal, if you have linked the comment to a field like action item or action items, it'll just nest it right there. So this is a very cool workflow. You do need, if you're going to go with this workflow, you need what Donnie did. You need the ability to add 2 or 3 different ones, or you need the ability in your gunny sack to add some periods. Because if I use this and I wanted to freehand the dead beaver comment, I'd have to come down here, and now it's no longer connected to soffits. So that's kind of what's so brilliant about Donnie's periods and why he's just used action item, action items, is it lets him kind of handle multiple things and not need to freehand something. So this is the traditional way that we originally designed ScribeWare to add observations. And Donnie, you probably never use this. Like
The only time I use that is if there's something that's just totally unrelated to anything.
that's right. Yeah, like it doesn't even fit in any one of these things, right? Yeah. I mean, if you were like like I think of sometimes when I've done commercial and there's a garbage corral and like my old commercial
I
template,
mean,
I didn't
I
have
would put it
something for
somewhere
that.
like that.
Yeah, that's right. That kind of thing. So that's again to show you that settings, observation modifiers, you click on one and it's show next to connected field value. So that's kind of the thing. And then I could show you real quick how you build a gunny sack, but let's say there's dormer repairs and we'll fix the spelling there. And then what you do is put your cursor here and you hit our text replacement button and allow multiple selections and bullets. This is kind of the key to making a gunny sack. And then I like to use a little pen emoji. Donnie hasn't done that, I don't think, but I
Yeah,
can't
I do the
remember.
same thing.
Okay.
I actually I use mine as a placeholder.
Yep. Yeah. These little titles are nice. You could use a pen, but you could call this like dormer repairs if you wanted to, and then we can make little lists of things. What Donnie was doing, some of them he was bolding them. So we could like bold this one so you can kind of set them off. So I mean, you make as much stuff in here as you want. Hit save, and now you built yourself a little gunny sack where you can start choosing things. So pretty simple to build gunny sacks. Um, so let's see, tagging. So let's go under action items here and Windows. Do you have your tags visible or are they just on the back end, Donnie?
They're visible, but I don't have windows tagged. That's fine.
Okay.
Go right there to electrical, something
Yeah.
electrical exterior. That'll give
Yeah.
you a tag.
Service wires. No.
Click on it so you're highlighting your tab above you.
Uh,
Your tags are not on
oh, you know what it
yours
is? I have
evident.
an old one of your templates.
Right.
That's what it is. Yeah. Well, I'll show you. Let's unpack my commercial template, and I'll kind of go
That's it.
tags. Yeah, but that's what's going on there. Cool. So that's kind of the magic of Donnie's template is using show next to connected field value, gunny sacks, hiding a little period in there, in order to create these super flexible comments. So. Okay, I'm going to go out of this and now we'll jump into my commercial template. So we're almost sort of working our way back in time a little bit. I'm going to end up at the narrative template, but let's go ahead and we'll create a new template here. And I'm going to do my CCPIA template and we're going to load this and I'll show you a few workflows. So I'm going to go down to units. One of the things that this is a template that I built kind of using the techniques that Donnie pioneered here. And I really wanted the interior for commercial buildings to all be able to fit into one section. I thought it was brilliant how Donnie did that. I've got a lot of these buttons because in a commercial building, there could be three sets of stairs. And now I can go boom, boom, boom. And I've created three sets of stairs. I could come up here and I actually listened to one of Rob's videos and just made a whole gunny sack based on everything that he said you should look for with commercial. And commercial's got a little bit of different stuff with stairs. You have to have handrails on both sides, for example. So that's a commercial requirement. And the guardrails are inadequate and incomplete, and the guardrails are loose. So you get it. And I could make a recommendation to hire somebody to fix it if I want. The beautiful thing about the yellow is that it will not print unless you choose something from it. So if you want, these comments are designed as information only by default. So you could, hit them and just grab a picture and, you could now document, here's your stairs, and you're done. Um, uh, but if there's defects, you could switch it to a repair item and then start fishing around in the defects list. So pretty cool. We also have the ability in commercial, like if we go to like HVAC equipment, right? Same thing. We can add as many units as we want, but we can also build styles and materials right into the comment with a table. So if I click on the table and HVAC, this is an American standard. It's a heat pump. It's no action needed at this time. It's in the utility room and it's electric and it's 4 tons and it's from 2017 and it's middle-aged and no service records were found. So that's how easy it is to fill out
When are
this
we going to have
table.
all this completed? Do you know for sure?
Yeah, I think it's tangled up with a big update with ScribeWare in general, but I would guess that April, May, we're going to have this live for everybody. So this is right now, this is in beta. We're making this in early April, so hopefully in the next few weeks, this maybe month, this will be live for everybody. So what's cool about this table, you guys, is that it not only shows here, and I could put some pictures of this HVAC system in, but it's going to populate a common table so now you're automatically producing a whole list of all this stuff for the client. And of course, all these fields are editable. One of the things we're waiting on is we want to ship with the tags and the tables intact so you don't have to build them
He's done
yourselves.
shipping with tags now.
Yeah, so now you can see this is what a tag looks like. And because we're using this technique where we don't have a million comments, it's so easy to tag everything with HVAC, or I can tag this one with electrical. And under restrooms, I think I have both plumbing and general contractor, because sometimes you could get both things, and you could always delete one of the tags if it was only a general contractor or plumbing thing. I suppose you could add electrical in here too, because you could have electrical things in the restroom. So anyway, we're pretty excited about this. This is a super flexible template that we think we've tried to design a commercial template to handle any building that gets thrown at you. Um, So cool. That's kind of tags. Let's go. I'll show you guys a finished commercial report, or at least mostly finished. So you can see what the tables and the tagging looks like. You kind of saw the tags already in down, but down here we've got general contractor items, roofing items, electrical items, plumbing items, HVAC. So here's our contractor list. Then list of urgency stuff. I also built summary items because I feel like in commercial, rather than doing the kind of styles and materials, it might be better to just do. I use voice to text and just speak an overview of like overall, it's got a new asphalt parking lot. So I created a lot of overview comments that you don't have to use them, you could ignore them. But this is what the summary looks like, and then here are the tables. So here would be like a capital reserve study for the building, and then a list of HVACs, water heaters, and electric service equipment. And again, this took no extra work for me, really. Like I would have had to do styles and materials somewhere in the report anyway. And so I'm auto-generating this list, which is pretty cool. And then the client can go ahead and click in Unit 200, and they can see everything that's up in Unit 200. Where they can click on common decks and stairs and see what's going on. So easy for them to click around. Uh, that makes sense on commercial, Donnie. Should I move into the narrative
I'm
template?
loving it. I see a few things that I can see different, and I'm really I want to talk to you a little bit. Not now's not the time on a
Yeah.
couple of the things
No,
that you've done there. That
this is kind of hot off the presses. So my expectation is that I want to work with Donnie and some other inspectors and kind of tweak this. And, it needs a bit of polishing. It's still kind of rough around the edges, but I think there's a nice start here for a really flexible commercial template. So let's go back into ScribeWare, and now we're going to go to the home, and I'm going to start another type of report. I want to start a narrative, and this is the one that I use every day. And now we're kind of like walking through all these different business models, really. I mean, geez, Donnie's got almost 20 inspectors and is doing more inspections in a week than I probably do in a year. So my narrative style template is definitely not built for speed. It's kind of slow and steady. But I charge a lot and I try to just I write too much. But the reason I wanted to talk about this is it helps you see the different ways you can design scribeware. So we're in my drainage and site, and I have these items set as required fields. So there's 220 items I got to fill in. So I could say it was standard clearance to grade, downspout discharge below grade, and then there are actually maybe there's some next to the foundation. So you see how this does not show next to connected field value. It ends up down here. And then subsurface drains are corrugated. So boom, there's my comment. And site drainage is there's a moderate slope. And then maybe there's a steep bank somewhere. And I'm going to say inquire with the seller. And now I've got more information. So these are all, kind of bigger level comments. If we go to something like my heating section, I kind of split it up. So as soon as I hit gas forced air furnace, now I get a kind of limitation of like, hey, I don't inspect the heat exchanger, but you have one and this is what they do and they're important. But if I want to recommend a servicing, that's going to end up down here. If we go to siding, for example, I can hit stucco and I've got the CYA information about stucco is all here. And then if there are stucco repairs, I actually, under common observations, you'd like this, Donnie, this is kind of cool, but I actually just used the logic tree to build stuff out. So I could go down to like stucco, for example, and click on this, and you can see that
right.
old red flags, old looks good. So I can kind of choose things, maybe call it a major concern, and start to unpack things. A lot of my comments here are designed for what we call photo captions to bullets feature. So how that works is I'm just going to grab some placeholders here, but let's caption these. Let's do major stucco cracks south side. We could caption the next picture, and I would do this with voice to text, but I'm just showing you here. Heavy water staining and cracking at the southwest roof to wall juncture. All right, we'll spell check that. So now we've got two comments, you get the idea. So if we read this comment, I've got hardcore stucco maintenance, localized red flags were found, examples of observations. I'm careful to not say this is all that's wrong. Recommendation, hire someone else to deal with it. Put my cursor here and I hit the magic button right up here, and that makes a bulleted list of your photo captions. The to me, this is a really good one-man shop workflow because as an inspector, I can just go around and use voice to text, and I just caption what I see on the outside of a building, and then when I'm done,
And it makes a great report. The thing with this, it's got so many layers in it when you've got 17, 18 guys, running it on any given
it
day.
doesn't work
It
for a big
takes
team.
a lot longer to train them and get them up to speed.
That's right. That's right. This is more of, but this is why Donnie and I did this meetup the other day, and it was so effective, I thought, to like walk through all this and like see you can do all these different things with ScribeWare and create all these workflows. Notice how in the narrative template, I've built out a lot of comments here, and these are what we call the mullet feature, but these are inspector only notes. So none of these checkboxes will print in the report. They're all going to stay hidden. But I can come up here and let's say I found reverse polarity and there was some inoperative receptacles and there was some inadequate lighting for the stairs and inoperative light fixtures and missing light fixtures. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, I'm mobile. I'm just flying through this. Oh, look, here's one that I forgot to tag with my electrical. So we'll hit the tag and we'll come down to contractor and oh, anyway, Tim's been redoing this. I can't seem to get to that one. It's not expanding, but that's where my electrical ones would be is down here. This is what it should do is kind of expand. So anyway, got to tag that one. But so that's the inspector only notes. Lets you just on mobile, this is really fast. So, but still, this template's not nearly as fast as Donnie's. There's definitely more of a lot more work and words and all that stuff.
I'm more
But
scrolling. That's the thing.
lot more scrolling. Oh, I want thank you for bringing that up. So notice how in mine I've got siding and trim, vents, eaves, doors, windows. Donnie was able to put all of that into one section. So I have to scroll like crazy. I'm constantly navigating into different places, whereas Donnie's really consolidated that. In our commercial template, we've really consolidated it. So a lot to be said for that. So yeah. Donnie, anything else I should unpack here just to kind of try to flesh out
I,
all the differences? I think we've kind of done it.
I think we've done a pretty good job. Like I said, I take the simple approach and make everything simple because with the text replacement and the being able to talk to text real easy, you can just add the things that you want.
Yep.
I put like there's wood rot noted, then I can just say give the location and it tags it all in
All
without
right
having all
there.
the big long lists and stuff.
Yep. Now there's a lot to be said for both of our approaches. It's why this was such a fun thing. Is like let's look at how we all do it. And like, if you're watching this, you might like, one of these templates might be a much better starting place for you. And you can run with it from there. We've tried to design the software where it's pretty infinitely customizable. And we even have other templates in this. We have a checkbox template and we've got guys in Florida that have good, cool. I don't know. We've got guys all over the country, all over the world that use ScribeWare and create different templates. We got people in Australia and the UK and Portugal, Canada. So
Like I
cool. Well,
said,
Donnie, anything you want to
it
add
is.
before we sign off here?
I just wanted to say that it is so awesome how much you can do, and the thing about it is right out of the box, it does a lot, but it just runs so deep. It just runs so deep if you really want to build an intuitive report.
It does. Yeah. And like you could, I mean, Donnie built his from scratch, really. I think we might have done, I don't know. Did we do any import for you, Donnie, or did you just build it up from
No,
nothing?
I just told you, I said, give me a baseline and here we go. And I just
Yeah.
basically take yours and then just added all mine in and build it all. And
Yeah.
I built the libraries the hard way because I just wanted them so basic.
Yep, that's beautiful, Donnie. It's a work of art, and it's pretty cool. So you're super generous to share it with everybody. And so these are two templates: the narrative template and the InterNACHI template are both kind of available if you download ScribeWare. And if you want to build your own, or you want to take one of these and tweak it, or you see one on our website that you're interested in, there's a lot of other subscribers who built some cool stuff. So thanks everybody for watching, and hopefully this kind of helps you build out a cool ScribeWare template.
Mine's Internaucci
Yep.
1.1.
Awesome. Nice. All right. Thanks, Donnie. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
I'm gonna stop recording.